And welcome into the Dan Presel Show here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. Coach, coming off a road swing, how we feeling today?
Man, glad to be home. Life's tough on the road, especially when you play at the two best teams in the league.
And I think it's underappreciated how hard it is to get a good night's sleep and get in the flow of everything when you're in a hotel because it's a hotel bed can be nice. You can have your own thermostat,
Yeah.
but there's just something about being in your house at the end of the day.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. Especially for somebody like me, I need sleep.
So, Coach talked about it. You saw the two best teams in the league. Ended up falling short against both of them. What are the takeaways from that Lane and that Miles game?
Two different styles. Lane just a lot of athleticism, a lot of pressing, trapping, puts a lot of pressure on you. Playing at Lane is about as hard as it gets. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, Coach was telling us their gym is kind of like awkwardly
Well, it's like an
situated.
old hangar. The floor's slick. It's very dark in there. It's kind of orangey. I've never played on Mars, but that would probably be the closest thing to it. But they got a great team. Coach Dixon does a fantastic job, and just a hard playing, really connected group.
And then talking about that Miles game as well, 68-51, the final there. I will say my biggest takeaway from both is it seemed like the offense was clicking a lot better. You shot 40% for Lane, 41% for the first half at Miles.
Yeah, we played good. We played well at first half. Actually, up one. Really should have been up four. Had a half court shot wiped away that actually was good. From Claudia Garrido. So played well in the first half. Miles won the league last year, brought their whole team back. They know how to win. And, my message to our guys was they're about to turn it up here. It's a group that knows how to win. And we're going to have to play better in the second half than we did in the first, and we're not able to.
Yeah, and I mean, looking around, it's definitely felt like market improvement the past couple of games. You get that win last time out at home against Central State. Really a good come from behind victory there. Talk about that momentum and carrying it
Well,
over.
it was great. We had been playing without two starters for a few games, and it was it was great to see our kids. Obviously, I always love winning,
Right.
but it was great to see other kids step up and have opportunities to help us win.
Now, you mentioned it. Claudia Garrido's been back in the past couple of games. Last time out was her first double digit performance in about a month.
Yeah.
What did it mean to get her back into the offensive flow?
She's just one of those guys that makes the game easier for everyone and makes everybody better because she just makes the right basketball play, 9 times out of 10. So it's just good to see her get her rhythm back, and hopefully she can stay healthy here for the last month of her college career.
Now, Coach, before we move on talking about what's been going on, one thing that's kind of stood out to me has been turnovers. 15 plus turnovers past 7 games. What do you have to do to tighten up the ball movement? And we've talked a lot about offensive flow and
Right.
sorting that out. How much does the turnover margins you guys are experiencing get in the way of that?
Well, basketball's such both sides are connected, offense and defense. I think we gave up around 25 points off turnovers in the 2 games this weekend. That's hard to overcome. It really is. We've been working on it. We got to do a better job against the press and against pressure, and ultimately that's going to be the key going forward if we're going to be able to finish out here.
I've noticed too, like it's a younger spot for you guys, point guard, some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
How, when you're seeing higher turnovers, and it's especially with younger players, do you get them to kind of step up their intensity, handling the ball to get you better into that flow?
Well, it's about like most everything in life, it's about putting yourself in the position to succeed, and you got to kind of get your work done early. So trying to get them aware, but it's not just been your younger guys. We've had older guys too. It's been everybody. It's been equal opportunity turnovers for us the last few weeks. So, and again, it's not like we're not watching film and trying to point this out. It's just a matter of we got to go out there and do it.
Yeah, and I mean, things will come with basketball minutes at a certain point, and we're really getting to that point. It's February now. Everybody's been playing a lot of minutes together this season.
Yeah.
Of course, we've mentioned it. Injuries have
Yeah.
been a problem. Losing 2 starters is going to hurt anybody. Losing the conference leading scorer is really going to inhibit what anybody does offensively. Do you feel like you're starting to maybe turn the corner on those injuries? And do you feel like you're a better team now that you've had them and you've overcome them?
Well, we gotta completely overcome them first. I feel for Kellen. Kellen has worked extremely hard to try to get back out on the floor to help her team. Still not at the, where she's not picked up where she's left off, obviously. And she's probably rushed a little bit to get back out. And so, for us, we're I think before Christmas we were in a pretty good rhythm. We were you know pretty connected, playing well. And for the month of January, since with the injuries and just in general, we've had taken some steps backwards in terms of that. So hoping with getting everybody back that we can start building that momentum again. Being more connected offensively, not turning over as much, so our defense can be better, and finish out.
And I think it's really interesting, specifically talking about Kellen. I think a lot of the times when you see a big name player get an injury, right? It's easy to kind of sit there and then get in your head and almost pout about it. But like I know watching her and shoot around, I mean, she's not shooting, but she's out there, she's roughing balls, she's getting them back to her teammates, she's talking. She's a huge presence on the bench, just sitting around. I mean, she's constantly up on her feet, cheering, rocking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we preach that and we expect that out of all of our players. So at the end of the day, being a great teammate is number one fundamental for us.
Coach, it's time to kind of wash January, get ready for February, this home stretch of the
Right.
year. What's been the mentality focus in practice leading into this final month?
I mean, you have to continue to try to improve. Like teams, you go one or two directions. You don't usually stay the same around this time of year. You're either still getting better or you start sliding. And we have to focus on continuing to improve.
Coach, Tuskegee coming up. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. Sound good to you?
Let's do it.
All right. This is the Dan Presel Show. We'll be back.
This is the way down a path that leads to a place upon the hill, led by thought leaders, activists, and Jesuit princes. Among the hill is where tradition and a strong desire to do and achieve reside. Ingrained in rich tradition, filled with purpose, fueled by passion. Spring Hill College is for those who seek more.
Welcome back to the Dan Presel Show here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. We're talking upcoming. And, Coach, it's a 3-game homestand kicking off this Saturday, 2 p.m. with Tuskegee. What can we expect to see out of the Tigers?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, they are the hottest team in the league right now, and a bunch of grad seniors and seniors, and started the season off. They were not getting great results, but I think they've won 7 out of 8 here.
10 of their last 6 and 6 in a row.
Yeah, and like 7 out, they're 8-4 in the league, coming in hot. So it's going to be, they're good, man. These 3-game homestands are basically 3 of the 4 best teams in the league coming up into the Outlaw Rec. So excited to play back at home again. And excited for the challenge. We got 3 practice dates to get it ready, and then we tip it off at 2. Whoever plays best is going to win.
And, you kind of mentioned it there. Really good team, really hot team. How do you exactly get ready for a team that's riding a 6-game winning streak, especially knowing it has to break eventually?
Oh, well, but it doesn't matter, if it's a 6-game win streak or lose streak. All we can control is what we control. We got to put our best product on the floor, and be prepared to take away some of the things that they do well and try to capitalize on some of their weaknesses.
You mentioned those things that they do well, taking those away and capitalizing on their weaknesses. They're a really good defensive team.
Yeah.
What are some things wrinkle-wise that we may see out of them that we can exploit?
Well, it's different. Every matchup is different. They are more like us in the way they defend. They're more of a pack line, protect the paint team, not a get out and deny, which has given us issues. It's more like seeing ourselves in practice. So sometimes there's a familiarity to that. But they're big, physical, and like you said, they don't make a lot of mistakes.
Now, it's kind of an interesting stretch of the season, too. Everybody you're going to play down this stretch, you've already seen before. How do you get ready for a team when you know you're going to be getting them back for that second time?
Um, the familiarity is good and bad.
Yeah.
The preparation in some ways is easier because we just you can
We've
go
seen them at this
well, and you
point.
go based on your film as much as other people's film. So there's nothing like that for your kids to see. But every game is different. Teams are in different spots every weekend. Every week is like a new week when you're talking about league play.
Yeah.
Um, and really, the goal is to win weeks as much as it is, days.
Right.
So things can change, momentum can change. Teams can get sick. Teams can get sick of each other. Teams can grow together. Things all sorts of things happen. So again, it's you got to play as well as you can on that day.
And I mean, taking a look down this stretch too, you've got three at home, and then you're going to close out with four on the road, and then head into that SIAC tournament.
Yeah,
We've talked about it a lot. Win at home, split on the road.
yeah.
How much of that is the focus here in the next few weeks?
For us, it's more about especially based on where we are in the standings. It's just about today, and it needs to be that no matter what. So we just have to try to continue to improve here, or start getting some rhythm and playing our best basketball heading into the conference
Uh,
tournament.
I think that's a great point, and I kind of wanted to harp on this a little bit too. We've talked a lot about what's gone right, what's gone wrong. Who would be your most improved player for the month of January?
Most improved, um, I don't know. We
It's a real on the spot
yeah.
question.
Uh, it's been a rough January for us. I think again, it's been fun to see Jaleisha Mann, be a steady, have a good senior year here to finish out her career. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. You got me on that one.
Jaleisha's the one for me. I mean, just watching the way she is matured handling the ball, but especially when she gets into her offensive flow,
Yeah.
right? I mean, she is a player who can come in and just give you 10 points off the bench when she's feeling confident, and she certainly seems to be finding that confidence.
Yeah, no, she has, and can be very dynamic at times. Very good with the dribble, and has the ability to get to the backboard.
Now, when we talked with Coach Kennedy, uh, talking about road trips, he put a lot of emphasis on not just being there, going and playing the games, but fun extracurricular field trips on the side.
Yeah.
What is your favorite field trip spot, and have you had one that has stood out this season?
We don't normally take field trips, but I do think it's important for camaraderie and and be around each other. I've always rather play on the road, even though the night sleep isn't so good. Uh, but it's just us, it's just your
Yeah.
group, and it's a chance just to be around each other, and there's no outside distractions. And so the thing for me is like to dine. There's going to eat, and then there's going to dine. And we sit and talk, and have a couple-hour dinner
Yeah.
in between, and just make sure we can all be around each other and see each other, and we don't talk about basketball. It's just anything else. Yeah.
Now, are you a chain restaurant person when you go for those dining experiences,
Well,
or are you
our
looking for that unique experience?
it depends. Fortunately for us, our assistant coach is a foodie.
Okay.
She's a TikTok celebrity and does a lot of food critiques. So she's in charge of meals on the road. So sometimes we get the local yokels, the mom and pops, and then sometimes we do a chain. It just depends.
All right, best place you've eaten on the road this season?
Um, you know, that's a good question. We've done a lot of like locals. We went to Columbia. We did a couple locals. Um, honestly though, like I just I'm more about the company than the spots and the food. I like all food. So
I don't know if you can look at me and tell I
I
also
don't
like all
discriminate.
food.
Yeah, I know. So
It's easy to get out there and find some really good places to eat. And Coach, we've got to talk about this a little bit. Music has been kind of our weird side focus today. So
okay.
I want to ask, Who was your first concert, and who's the best concert you've ever seen?
Man, I'm ashamed to say my first concert was a Leonard Skinner concert in Biloxi, Mississippi. That's kind of
Okay, but there's
obscure.
no knocking on seeing original Skinner.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're original. So, all right, I growing up, I love Pearl Jam. I'm a child of the '90s, so I've been to
Okay.
a ton of Pearl Jam concerts. So, any one of them, pick them. You know, I saw them at Tad Gormley Stadium in New Orleans, where Tulane plays, and that was a great experience. But I've seen them a bunch of times, so that's kind of been like the soundtrack of my life. You know.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed, there is a musical divide with the younger generation these days sometimes. Is Pearl Jam that one band that if you were gonna like, okay, here's my hill to die on, you guys need to know this band?
Oh no, I don't care. It's mine. It's for me, not for them. You know,
Nice.
I mean, I just love music. Period. You know, it's been just such a big part of my life. It's everybody to each their own. You know, I don't want to force it. I'm not. I never made my kids growing up in my car listen to my music. You know what I mean? So like, I'm pretty diverse. I will say this: as I've gotten older, like the kids' music that we like to listen to and practice and stuff. Sometimes it sounds like the one same song, one long. It's just the whole song. You know, every song they play sounds kind of similar.
I'm glad it's not just me.
No, yeah. Just wait till you get even older, Charlie. Yeah.
I don't want to get older, coach. My body already hurts. I don't feel like I sleep enough.
Just wait, buddy.
All right, coach. So coming up, we've got Tuskegee Saturday, 2 p.m., Lane the following Saturday, 2 p.m., and Miles on Monday. Final 3 home games of the year. What is your message to the student section?
Hey, come out and support us. They make a difference. You know, our gym's just is great in terms that it can get really loud and it can be very, very helpful to our students. And they've worked really hard this year. You know, I know, you know, we're sitting at 5 and 7 in the league, not where we want to be, but we still got some good basketball left to play, and their support really helps.
Now, we've mentioned it a lot. Home stretch here, SIAC tournament right around the corner. What's the tournament field look like? How many teams are going to get in? And where's it going to be played? All that fun stuff.
You know, I haven't even really thought about it much. It's just been so kind of locked in.
Present in the moment.
Yeah. So I do know the championship game will be in Atlanta.
Okay.
But you know, we still got a few more weeks till I even start thinking about it. I hate to say it.
You know what? Nobody can blame you. It's about the game in front of you, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here on the Dan Presel Show. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
We'll be back next Wednesday here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. And be sure to check out all of the coaches' shows. We've got softball, baseball, and men's basketball rolling right now.
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.